Hello everybody, this is AddLess here. Welcome. This is going to be the special video about the Porygons. We're going to do evolutions, as you can see. So the Porygons have already been leaked for the new set for Diamond and Pearl. However, I've already made the designs for Porygon and they're quite different from the originals that they're releasing. So I thought I would still make the video because I do like the concept and it can be put into other Pokemons. So let's get it started. First of all, we have Porygon 2, which we do actually have an artist name, Naoki Eguchi. I believe that's how you say it. So if you like the art, do go check it out. So obviously this is going to be an evolution for the previous Porygon that we had. And it's of course stage 1. 100 HP, which is very nice for a first stage Pokemon. Weakness to fighting and a 3 retreat cost. This is a Pokemon that if you're putting in the active spot, say for example with the Sabrina, it's going to be a tough Pokemon for you to get out, and it's sort of a way that you can counter this sort of card. It then has the move conversion, 2 energies for 40 damage, which again is very low amount of damage. But it has data analysis, and this is the main thing that drives Porygon forward. So now data analysis, and this is kind of where I made the whole line from, it's going to be the upgrade over data scan. So on data scan, once during your turn, you may look at the top card of your deck. With data analysis, once during your turn, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck and move any number of them to the bottom of your deck. What does this mean? It means that you can essentially do a very similar thing to Porygon where you're also seeing the top cards of your deck. But with the Porygon 2, you're already sort of messing with those cards. You can move cards that you don't want to the bottom of your deck, and that's very good for drawing. So again, because if it's a colorless Pokemon, works in any deck, it's a very unique card and a card sorter, so that's sort of the role that it has. And it works great with these cards. So if you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, obviously you can pair it very well with any of these cards that allows you to draw a card. So for example, you look at the top 3, maybe the 3rd card is actually something that you really would need for maybe an evolution. You can, for example, move the other 2 to the bottom of your deck, and then either next turn or using one of these cards, you can draw them immediately and get them to work. So that's kind of what Porygon does here, and I think it's a very nice card because of that. Porygon 2 then evolves into Porygon Z. So let's get a look at the Porygon Z. So stage 2, of course, 90 HP, so it actually does lose HP, and this is to reflect the in-game uses of Porygon 2 and Porygon Z, especially in the VGC setting, so the main official game. Porygon 2 is mostly used as a defensive wall, and Porygon Z is more of an offensive Pokemon. We keep the weakness to fighting, but we reduce the retreat cost because Porygon is a lot faster. It also has conversion, so the same move, same energy cost. This time it does, instead of 40, does 60 damage, which is a little bit better, but still not very good. But we do have data implementation, so let's get a look at this. It goes from data scan, data analysis to data implementation, okay? So on data analysis, the Porygon 2 ability, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can move any number of them to the bottom. With data implementation, so the Porygon Z, the final evolution, once during your turn, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck and draw one of them immediately. So you can't put them down onto the bottom of your deck, but you look at 3 of them and you can draw one of them immediately. You won't need cards like Professor's Research, like Meow for you to draw them. No, you immediately draw them. Not only are you able to look at the cards of your deck, but you can also draw in just one ability. This is, in my opinion, very, very useful, especially for decks that require a very specific card. So if you have another stage 3 Pokemon in your deck, this is going to make it a lot easier to play with. Also, any sort of fossil does really enjoy this sort of support. It's also just a really nice draw engine, and because you're looking at the top 3 cards of your deck, you also get to analyze what you have going forward. So for example, you can use data implementation, draw one of them, but if the other two are also really good, you can still just professor's research to get them onto your hand. So that's very, very good. And like I said, professor's research, the other ones are also very good for the second and third cards that you see. So very, very nice. That's Porygon Z. And now we can look at the other card that I've also made. So yeah, we made 3 cards. And the third one is Porygon ZEX. I am excited about this one. And I will be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly if this card is going to be too broken. I've made my best to try and keep it tame, but still very interesting. And I'm really not sure. Please comment below if you think this is too strong, but let's get to it. So, Stage 2, EX, 110 HP. So it would be currently the lowest HP EX in the game. The current one was Pikachu with 120. This one is 110. It then has a weakness to fighting and a 2-cost retreat. It then has the very nice move, Try Attack. So 4 colorless energy. That's the cost. And then here's the effect. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Deal 50 damage for each you choose to discard. Draw the others. So what the hell does this actually mean? So you're going to see 3 cards off the top of your deck. And now you get to choose out of each one of them, what do you want? Do you want to discard that card and deal 50 damage? Or do you want to deal no damage and draw that card? This of course means that it's a skillful play because you have to decide carefully what you want to do with a good maximum on either side. Like you can do with an attack 150 damage, which as we know is very decent, or you can draw 3 cards, which is also very decent, but you have to be choosing. And that's kind of where Porygon becomes a very interesting card. So it's very comparable to like Mewtwo when it comes to the potential damage, but it's not quite Mewtwo. It has a lot lower HP, and it's also Stage 2, but it does have a lot of the versatility of just being able to draw you cards. So it's a bit of an inconsistent card. I feel like this card really depends on what the game itself is becoming. If you can get this card early game, like really early, get the 4 energies attached and start it swinging with it, it can just win you the game, because at that point you're doing 150 damage every single turn, and that's game over for your opponent. That being said, because you're also just destroying 3 cards every time you do that, like every single turn, you will be losing a lot of your fallback. So like, if for some reason your opponent is able to kill the Porygon, and you've been discarding a lot of cards, you're now down 2 points, and a lot of your deck is completely useless. So you might have just lost the game because you were doing so much damage. You can also draw a lot of cards, which is also interesting, but then again, you don't want to draw too many that your opponent gives you too much pressure and perhaps kills your Porygon. Because if you get your Porygon killed, even if you have a lot of cards in your hand, that might still mean that you lose the game. So again, it's an inconsistent card because again, you don't really want to discard that many cards. Let's say you really want to do 150 damage. For example, you're facing a Mewtwo and you want to do 150 to immediately kill it. But the cards that you draw are cards that you're going to need after. What do you do? Do you damage? Do you draw the cards? I'm really not sure. But to me, it seems like a fun mechanic that I would want in the game, you know what I mean? It's a fun card. So that is Porygon ZEX. Again, very different from the approach that the actual game decided to go with. But I do really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Yeah. That was Porygon 2Z and Porygon ZEX. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.